Good afternoon, students. Today we will see about the second topic of DBMS. Second topic is nothing but ER diagrams and constraints. So, what do you mean by ER diagrams and what are the things present in that? We will see one by one. First is what is entity? An entity is a thing or object in the real world. An entity contains the attributes which describe that entity. So, anything about which we store information is called an entity. So, entities are recorded in the database and must be distinguishable, that is easily recognized from the group. For example, a student, an employee, or a bank account, etc. All are entities. So these are the example diagram for the entity. So this is an entity name, that is an employee, and there is an ID. So here we can, these are the things are called attributes. So we name this a primary key attribute and another things are called non-primary key attribute. Let's see one by one. Then what are the types of entities in DBMS? That's a strong entity types and weak entity types. These are entities that exist independently and have a completely unique identifier, that is a strong entity. And weak entity types, so the entities depend on another entity for his or her lifestyles and do now not have a completely unique identifier on their own. And these are the best example diagram for the strong entity relationship with the weak entity. So left side, it is showing that the strong entity type, that is a customer diagram, and then right side there is an address of a customer diagram is showing that weak entity type. Now associative entity types, these are the another types of entities. Most probably you will see about the strong entity and weak entity. Then one more thing is an associative entity types. These constitute relationships between our greater entities and might have the attributes in their own. Derived entity types means these entities are derived from the different entities through a system or a calculation. So multi-valued entity types is these entities will have more than one value for a characteristics. So these are the types of entities. And now what do you mean by entity set? An entity set is a collection of similar types of entities that share the same attributes. For example, all students of a school are an entity set of student entities. Key terminologies. What are the key terminologies used in entity sets? Attributes, entity type, entity instance, primary key. So attributes is the attributes or the houses or triads of an entity. They describe the data that may be connected with an entity. Entity type means a category or a class of entities that share the same attributes is referred to as an entity kind. Entity instance means an entity example is a particular incidence or character entity within an entity type. Each entity instance has a unique identity, often known as the number one key. Primary key is nothing but is a unique identifier for every entity instance inside an entity kind. It can be classified into two types. One is the strong entity set and weak entity set. Let's see one by one. Strong entity sets exist independently and each instance of a strong entity set has a unique primary key. For example, strong entity includes the this example, it shows the car registration number, car model, and car name and car color, etc. Then weak entity set is an weak entity cannot exist on its own. It is dependent on a strong entity to identify it. A weak entity does not have a single primary key that uniquely identifies it. Instead, it has a partial key. Example, there is a laptop or diagram is there, the laptop name, laptop ROM and RAM and color. So these are the some of the example for weak entity set. What are the attributes in DBMS? Attributes are the properties or characteristics of an entity. Attributes are used to describe the entity. Attribute is nothing but a piece of data that gives more information about the entity. Attributes are used to distinguish one entity from other entity. It helps to categorize the entity and the entity can be easily retrieved and manipulate the entity. Attributes can help the database to be more structural and hierarchical. An entity with no attribute is of no use in the database. So this is the example. Now, just to see what are the types of attributes in DBMS. Simple attribute, composite attribute, single valued attribute, multi-valued attribute, key attribute, derived attribute, stored attribute, and complex attribute. So these are the entity diagrams that attributes, what are the attributes used and what are the entity types are there and how many entity sets are there. In next video, we will see about one by one attributes elaborately. Thank you.